Well, speaking of BS that the Democrats have been pushing, Jesse Watters of Fox News calls out the BS of the Democrat Party in this clip here. And you guys, I mean, this is one you don't want to miss. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, because he does a phenomenal job here just completely shellacking the Democrats and what they're saying about him in terms of him calling out Paul Pelosi, the guy, was it DePapi or DePepe, whatever the hell the freaking insane dude was saying and did to Paul Pelosi. Well, Gavin Newsom attacks Jesse Watters here, and Jesse Watters just comes out and eviscerates in a 5-minute clip here, 5-6-minute clip, the Democrat Party. We got to watch this together, folks. Let's watch it.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is running for president. So when a mentally ill, homeless drug addict who's committed crime after crime in his state and was never deported attacks Paul Pelosi with a hammer, Gavin Newsom has to blame anybody but himself. And Gavin Newsom thinks Jesse Watters is to blame.
Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like that blames everybody else but themselves? God, could it be our president, Joe Biden? Blames China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, the Republicans, Putin's price hike. I mean, this and that, it's everybody else's fault. It couldn't possibly be Joe Biden and the Democrat Party that's just running the show. They got to blame everybody else. So you got Gavin Newsom doing the same exact thing, blaming Jesse Watters for the attack that took place on Paul Pelosi. Unbelievable.
For Paul Pelosi getting hammered.
I've seen the dehumanization of Nancy Pelosi. I don't think anyone's been dehumanized like she has consistently. I mean, I watched this one guy, was it Jesse Watters or something on Fox News, what he's been saying about Paul Pelosi the last 5-6 months, mocking him consistently. Don't tell me that's not aiding and abetting all this. Of course it is. They're sowing the seeds of creating a culture.
Aiding and abetting? Dude, you have a sanctuary city in your state that I live in. You are literally aiding and abetting an illegal immigrant. What are you talking about? You're going to blame... Don't even get me started. Let's continue. I apologize, folks.
In a climate like this. I mean, it's look online. Look at the sewage that is online that they amplify on these networks and in social media to dehumanize people like Nancy Pelosi and other political leaders.
First of all, Gav, thanks for watching, but let's set the record straight. Paul Pelosi got drunk and nearly killed someone with his car. And then the Napa County DA, hey, Allie, made it go away. We reported that Paul Pelosi got special treatment and mocked him for trying to bribe officers with a PBA donor card. We had to wait forever to get to the bottom of what happened that night, and there's still questions we have. But Gavin Newsom thinks if you mock a Democrat, it puts him on a target list. So Gavin's saying that by saying that he uses more hair gel than John Travolta in Grease, it's going to make people show up to his house with hammers. We've always said Gavin's biggest flaw, he's not very smart. The deranged drug addict who talks to fairies and lives on a school bus didn't watch prime time and head on over to Pelosi's house with a hammer. And has Gavin read the affidavit? Because DePape wasn't going over there to get Paul. He was going there for Nancy. If anything, Gavin Newsom has done more to aid and abet this attack on Paul Pelosi than anybody. David DePape is a homeless criminal and an illegal alien. DePape overstayed his visa for years, committed crimes. California is a sanctuary state, so he was never deported. So let me ask you a question. Who's more at fault here? The governor who didn't deport the deranged drug addict felon who thinks he's Jesus? Or the news guy who fairly covered Paul's DUI case? I think we both know the answer. But it's not just me they're targeting. Joe Biden managed to blame the entire Republican Party.
You can't condemn the violence unless you condemn those people who continue to argue the election was not real, that it's being stolen, that all the malarkey that's being put out there to undermine democracy. You can't...
Isn't Hillary Clinton in the news for literally saying that Republicans are rigging the upcoming election? I mean, there's literally footage of it. So what is this guy talking about? His own party is coming out and saying that Republicans are rigging the midterm elections. Hillary Clinton still thinks that she won, you guys. Stacey Abrams of Georgia still thinks that she won. What is this guy talking about? Wake up, Joe. Get the aviators off your face. It doesn't work.
Just apologize and say the violence. It affects people's mentality. It affects how people think. Condemn what produces the violence. And this talk produces the violence.
And then the media blamed the Paul Pelosi attack on January 6th.
Police say zip ties were found at the scene, just like the ones found on those who were hunting Nancy Pelosi at the Capitol on January 6th.
Folks. What the hell? What the hell? Really? That's how far, you guys, the media is willing to go. That they're talking about the zip ties were the same. Well, the guy had on the same sneakers as some of the other people that went into the Capitol. Yeah, he had on the same shirt too. Like, really? You're gonna go down to the zip ties being the same? You guys are so crazy. This is how far they will go to try and just get anything and everything they can to be absorbed as to being the same in January 6th. Oh, well, they all had beards. They must be January 6th supporters. Oh, they had the same zip ties, and they had the same shoes, and they had the same shirts, and they like the same movies, and they like the same this and that. Like, come on, it's crazy.
And that's not the only similarity.
Zip ties. He had zip ties with him. What does that tell you?
And duct tape, and was asking for Nancy that this was a...
Oh, my God. I was being satirical with the shoes. They're going down to the duct tape now. I was freaking joking. That's what I said. Like, the satire has turned into real life where you're literally joking about favorite movies, the shirt, the shoes. Zip ties and duct tape, folks. I'm not even going to continue. It's so freaking nuts. It's so nuts. I can't do it. I just want to walk out right now. I just want to end the podcast because it's so BS crazy that these people are tying in zip ties and freaking duct tape into the January 6th events in conjunction with Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, being attacked.
A violent act targeted against the Speaker of the House. There's a performative nature of the political violence we've seen. We saw it on January 6th. It was very similar to January 6th.
It's reports that the same chant was used by this guy they have in custody that was used on January 6th in the attacks on the U.S. Capitol. I'm not making this up.
You guys help me. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. They said the same chant, so it must be the same. It must be. And they have the same zip ties, same glow sticks. They have the same craziness. It's just, come on. It's so stupid.
You know who also had zip ties? Nicholas Roski. Sound familiar? That was the liberal fanatic who tried to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh. He also had duct tape, a hammer, a gun, and a crowbar. But for some reason, the media forgot all about that story. The Democrats accused Kavanaugh of racism, gang rape, drugging women, then leaked that he was going to overturn Roe v. Wade, and a madman zipped across the country ready to kill. Did the media blame themselves? Did the media tone down their language? No. The media dropped the story like a bad habit. And now CBS is demanding Republicans drop their ads before the midterms.
Republican candidates have spent more than $116 million on ads that mention Speaker Pelosi by name in this cycle. If this is about the issues, why should make it about the issues? Why not depersonalize it?
It is absolutely about the issues.
We are 8 days out. Don't you think this needs to change? Why not pull some of these ads?
I see. So no one's allowed to criticize Nancy's politics ever again, especially not before a wave. We're just supposed to lay down and let Democrats win and pull the ads. They're not mentioning that David DePape's ex said he was an Obama guy and a progressive. But the media and the left are jumping on the Republicans are to blame wagon. When the Bernie bro who shot Steve Scalise, did you hear any of us blaming Bernie? But the same can't be said for members of the media who celebrated attacks on Republicans, like when Rand Paul got his ribs cracked by his neighbor. And MSNBC gushed about how it was one of their favorite stories.
New details today on the incident that left Senator Rand Paul with 6 broken ribs. This might be one of my favorite stories.
Don't you love when Republican senators' ribs get cracked? It was one of their favorite stories. How come Gavin Newsom didn't say anything about that?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
Man, I mean, he eviscerates them, folks. And that's what you do. You use their own words against them. You bring to light and expose them for who they are. They're a bunch of knuckleheads. They sit there and rub the shoulders of the Democrat Party and the progressive left. And you know what? It just shows. Keep doing what they're doing. Have the media keep doing what they're doing, because Americans are waking up. They're seeing that the media is in the freaking beds of the Democrat Party and the progressive left. They sit there and talk about January 6th, that, a year later, well over a year later. But where's the conversation about what Black Lives Matter did and Antifa of burning down our cities, causing $2 billion in damages compared to the $1.5 million that was done at the Capitol? Where's that conversation at? So talk about, oh, well, we can't be targeting Nancy Pelosi. We should be talking about the substance and the ideas. We should be talking about like the policies there. Okay, we could do that as well. But it's Nancy Pelosi that's helping run this country into the ground and has been. I mean, hell, look at her state. How is she Speaker of the House? I have no idea, because she can barely speak without her dentures falling out of her face. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.